Hello and welcome to another episode of Perfect Tips for Perfect Success. This is Deidre Isaacs Haylock again with you, and I'm joined by one of my childhood friends. We went to school together, we summered together, we vacationed a lot together, and she moved away from Belize into a bigger pond. This is Melanie, and back when she was in Belize, she was a very athletic, outgoing, energetic person. So I want her to just remind us who Melanie is and what Melanie is up to now. So welcome, Mel.
Hi, Deidre. I have to laugh when the way you describe me. Energetic, yes. Yes. That brings back a lot of memories. Our days running around on the beaches in Belize. That was a different. It seems like a lifetime ago. Actually,
I'm sure.
that time compared to my life now, it's just surreal. Yeah.
But tell us, what is Melanie up to now? How is that? Where are you and what are you doing?
I live in a little city called Pflugerville, Texas. They call it you're stuck between a rock and a weird place because I'm in between Round Rock, Texas and Austin, Texas. I moved to Texas about 12 years ago. I can't believe that it's been 12 years. And I kind of just fell into what I'm doing right now. In the middle of the pandemic last year, I decided to up and shake things up and decided I was going to work for myself, and which was very bold and scary at the same time, because I mean, that time with COVID going on, basically the world as we know it had stopped. So there was a lot of adjusting to that new environment. So I decided to do bookkeeping on my own, bookkeeping accounting. So that's what I'm doing, which is kind of funny because when I moved here, I wanted to get into, like you, because I was very athletic, health and kinesiology. That was what I was supposed to be doing, not this, but this kind of fell into my lap. So, and now this is what I love.
Great. Yes. Tell us, what does Bougie Bookkeepers do and what that is like for you?
Bougie Bookkeepers, first of all, the name, I get asked about the name a lot. Why Bougie? It was more like a running inside joke because I used to work for a CPA office, which is a certified public accounting firm, for the last 7 years. And we focused on tax preparation. And I was more in charge. I was senior accountant, so I was in charge of preparing the books for small businesses. But it was a running joke in the office. People will say, oh, well, you're bougie. Because number one, I'm Caribbean. So some might say I have an accent. I don't. That's a joke too. So I brought a different kind of flair to the office. And when I dealt with clients, it was a little over the top. As you say, I can be energetic. So like they would tease me and say, oh, but you're bougie. Or if I had to go, I used to accompany one of my bosses to these conferences, IRS conferences with tax updates. And I dressed different, I looked different, I acted differently. So then they would say, oh, well, they tease me that I'm bougie. So that's where the name Bougie came about. And I wanted a name that would stand out, because if you Google bookkeeping or bookkeepers in Austin, I mean, there is pages and pages and pages of bookkeepers. So I wanted one that if you were scrolling, you would say, huh, that's different. What's that about? And I can tell you about 9 out of 10 times the people that have contacted me, the first thing they'll tell me, I clicked on you because of your name. What's that about? So then I start to tell them, and then you develop a personal relationship and a rapport, and then you stand out, and then you become personable, and then they want to work with you. So that's the first thing I did.
2 things you said there, Mel, is you said you made difference work for you. So what was a little joke or a little slight, you turned to a highlight, a high positive.
Yes.
Second, you said the name allowed you to connect and to be personable. It piqued curiosity and people wanted to know, what is this all about? And so it allowed you to form a connection.
Yes.
So it would seem to me that those 2 things resonate a lot for your business.
Yes. Well, with any new startup, anything that you're trying to do, you want to stand out, because whatever you're thinking about doing it, chances are I don't know how many other people already out there thinking. I mean, bookkeeping is common. So you want to put yourself out there. You want to stand above the rest in some way, shape, or form.
You transferred out to Texas and to the United States 12 years ago. What was that transition like? Because Belize's market is very small, and out there it's big, and people may say, I'll get lost. Nobody knows me there. How do I set my foot in and get grounded so that I could one day dare to own my own business?
Well, Deidre, I will say it is a huge change because, as you know, like you said, Belize is very small, and everybody knows you in Belize. I mean, everybody knew me, or if they didn't know me, they knew my sisters or my parents or my brother. Opportunities, I'm not going to say it's easier, but there's more, it's more available because, you know, oh, well, you're daughter of somebody, somebody, somebody. So, you know, people know you. Up here, nobody knows you. You're literally on your own. And whereas I used to travel to the States a lot, it's different than living here. And I've never traveled to Austin. That's where I moved when I first moved 12 years ago. I didn't know anybody here other than my husband at the time. So and then I went to school. I decided, well, I gotta take some classes, but my focus at the time was health and kinesiology. So that's what I was going to school for. And then I got a job part-time at the CPA firm. It was just supposed to be part-time, you know, to help pay bills while I go to school. And then well, that turned into full-time, and here I am. But it is different. In Belize, Caribbean people were very friendly, we're very warm. You walk into a room, you smile, we're energetic, we have this flair. So it's very different. I'm not gonna say it's colder here, it's just that nobody knows you. So you kind of have to prove yourself. You have to work extra hard. So I would say you have to get in that mindset that you're gonna do it no matter what. It's not for the weak at heart, I would say, and you just gotta stay focused and just push through it. And at the time I had my daughter who was 9 years old at the time, so she had to adjust as well, and I had to help her adjust. But kids are resilient and they adapt quicker to change than we do. So she actually ended up helping me adjust as much as I was helping her.
You've kind of bridged the gap so far. You know more people now. You were in a CPA firm, so you've built up knowledge of the clientele, what they expect, and the name helps you with that first click. Other than that, how do you navigate the business field to put yourself out there? What do you rely on?
Well, the advantage I had was, like I said, working in the CPA firm, I had to deal with hundreds of clients. I mean, every tax season is usually starts mid-January to April 15th. So I was involved with a lot of I wasn't doing their taxes, but I was doing the accounting for the small business clients. So I developed a relationship with a lot of these clients. I got the confidence that I needed because I always knew I wanted to be out on my own. I'd say about 2 years ago, I made a decision that I was gonna do this, branch out on my own. And then when Layla got grown and she was out on her own, it was the perfect time for me to do that because, you know, leaving a full-time job for an unknown with a child, that's scary. So when the opportunity presented itself, I did that. And I walked away from that full-time job, but I also walked away with the confidence that I could generate my own clients. I didn't get any of my old, obviously, the clients from the place I was working with, but I got references from these people. So the references was what helped me build my small clientele that I have now, and it's steadily growing.
Where are you hoping to take it? Where would you like to take it?
As far as it'll go, the goal was to be able to control my time, number one, and doing something that I love, which was just the bookkeeping part, especially with small businesses, because everybody will say, okay, well, I want to start whatever, a pet shop. Okay, so you buy your supplies, you hire employees, you get the licenses, you pay the taxes, all that stuff you get done, but then, okay, oh gosh, what about bookkeeping? People tend to leave that behind because, oh, well, I'll get to it. Oh, I don't need a bookkeeper. So I would, if they contact me, usually when I do get a client, it's because they've already been like maybe a year into the business, and then tax time come and they're like, oh my gosh, my books aren't ready. Can you help me get caught up? So I get in there and then I have to clean up their books, and then I end up teaching them or training them on how to run their books, manage their books, because how can you run your business if you don't know how it's doing? And, you know, as hard as that may seem to believe, a lot of people don't make that correlation that how do you know if you're even making money if you don't maintain an accurate set of books and not wait till the end of the year because taxes are due?
Many Belizeans lived in the United States and may be talented in their own right. Maybe bookkeeping is not their thing, but what advice would you give them from what you've gained in getting started and getting yourself set up?
My biggest advice, Deidre, is you've got to put yourself out there. You've got to network. I mean, network could be anything, from going when you're out in a social setting. That's networking. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to join a networking group that's structured and tailored specifically. Okay, this is what we're meeting, and exchange business cards. And that's another thing. Always have business cards readily available and on you. I have business cards on me if I'm going to the gas station. You just never know. You know, you meet somebody, hey, here's my business. That's advertising. That's networking right there. You got your idea. You know what you want to do. You're ready to go. It's a 24/7 job. You know, you got to stay hungry is what I always say. Plugging and plugging. You got to you got to keep your pages updated. You got to diversify also, because if 2020 has taught us anything, is that life can change on a dime. Everything can change, and you got to be able to adapt and diversify. Mostly all my bookkeeping clients or all my bookkeeping contracts is virtual, and that's because of COVID. So you have to adapt to that. You got to be able to run your business virtually. I could say, you know, at the beginning, I would say, well, I will just come in and help you reconcile your books. But now I also offer training and consulting. So you just got to constantly be switching it up.
Indeed. How do you get over the lulls, the low points and the lulls? What do you do to keep that energy high? Because it's not always high, you know. So what do you do to prep yourself personally to stay high?
That's a good question, because that's very true, especially when you're starting out. There's some days I wake up and I have 50 emails and I'll have 5 unanswered voicemails, and I think, wow, this is awesome. This is great. And then there's other times when 2-3 days go by and there is nothing. And then you start to think, oh my gosh, what did I do? I left full-time job with benefits for this, and, you know, rent's going to be due. How am I going to make it? But that's when you got to remind yourself, have a vision board, have your 5-year plan, you know, breaking it up into first 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, and so forth to 5 years. And you got to go back and you got to revise. If you need to revise, you got to remind yourself why you're doing this. And like I said, at the moments when you feel the lowest or discouraged, get on your, if it's your Facebook page, and update it, you know, maybe, I don't know, do a new ad, something. You just got to keep going and push through the low points.
You're serving a big market in the USA. Any thought of giving that service in Belize and maybe being a multi-market firm?
Now that everybody's working from home now and everything's virtual. I mean, look how you and I are conducting this interview right now. Definitely that's a possibility. I can offer my services anywhere, really. I actually got a client from Germany. So it's this virtual world, or the cloud, has opened up so many avenues for different types of industry, especially this one. So absolutely, it's possible.
Okay, well, Bougie Bookkeepers, Melanie Woods, tell us how to contact you and what's your website and contact information.
Contact me is www.bougiebookkeepersllc.com. That's the website. I also have a Facebook page, same thing, Bougie Bookkeepers LLC. And email is simple, bougiebookkeepers@gmail.com.
Well, Melanie, thank you for chatting with us. It's good catching up. It's good hearing about your determination and your insistence and your drive to survive. COVID did not deter her, folks. She's out there. She's giving good service, personable service that will take your business further. Belizeans, hey, she's a Belizean sister. She can serve you. If she can get a client in Germany, she can get a client in Belize. So reach out to Bougie Bookkeepers, Melanie Woods, and a familiar face will take you there. If you're not familiar, she'll get familiar very soon. So take care, and we're going to talk some more. Hope you learned something from her story. And as usual, perfect tips for perfect success. We're going to meet again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, Deidre. Thank you.